Alright guys, I've been out here working on the Mustang as usual. Today I'm going to talk about, I told you I was going to make a video on mounting SVO cell panels. Now, let's talk about these SVO cell panels a little bit. There's two different kinds. Let's see. There's an E4 and there's an E6 SVO cell panel. Now, I guess what the E stands for would be 80. Basically, it's an 84 SVO and an 86 SVO. But one of the two, and I'm pretty sure it's the E4s, you have to make fit. The one of them's longer than the other. So I don't know how it works, but that's what I've heard. I've done a lot of research on it, and everybody on Facebook will tell you, you know, if you're on a Mustang group, ask about the SVO cell panel, ask the difference between the E4 and E6, and they'll tell you. But there is a difference. So these E4s, I have to, that side I've already mounted, I've already drilled the hole, and you do have to drill the hole. This right here is the top, where the top hole on your factory cell panel. And if you look, instead of it being closer toward the middle on the SVO cell panel, it's actually closer toward the quarter window. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill and we're going to mount it. Be a short video, but that's basically it, guys. You just it's just different, you know. You just line it up. So we're gonna line it up in here, and you know, this is where I want the bottom to sit, and just get over here. Basically, I'm gonna make a mark with this. It's gonna be hidden. Just kind of make a mark with it, with the stud. If you can look how it left a spot. Let me get the camera right here and I'll show you. It did leave a little white spot. Now this car's been painted, but it has not been put in clear coat, so I can go back and fix whatever. But I'm not gonna worry about that. And right here's what I was talking about. This is where your factory stud mounts at the top, and this is where the SVO one's going to mount. Also, to get this, it's gonna be a little bit shorter on the trim than it is on that side, and I'll go over and show you. So basically, what you want to do is you want to find one of these holes down here, and find it and make it larger, so you can move it, have play in it, move it up and down. When you do that, and then you turn and tighten it back up on the back side, you're not going to have any play once you tighten it up, and it's not going to come off, and it's not going to be you know, it's not going to be loose. Just don't make it too big. Let's go over to the other side, and I'll show you. I already have this one mounted. There is a little gap, but it's not a lot. You know, it's pretty common. Yes. I guess before I mount it, I am going to raise it up. It's got this side does have a little play in it, so I can, you know, at least raise it up a little bit. But let's get started, and we're gonna drill this hole out over here. That was the extension cord. I need to fix it and repair it before my whole garage burns down. I'm gonna have to watch out with this, guys. I did this to make, if you watch my other videos, I use this piece. It's a cutting tool, and I put a I put a hole in on the back side of the apron, on the back side of the shock tower as well, and I did that to run my wires with my wire tuck, but I can't get it off. Don't know what the deal is, but it does not want to come off at all. But it's got a bit in there to get this started. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to be careful and try not to get into this. If I do, then it's a lot more work for me, and something I do not want to get into because it will cut all the way through it. I'll have a big old hole right here, and I don't need that. So, sorry, Doc. I'm gonna try to get this way. Maybe I'll. There's the hole, guys. So I did get into it a little bit. Should have known, but I don't have a hole there. I do for the cell panel, but not for the where my trim goes. But that ain't nothing. A little primer, I'll sand it back down, and a little primer, fill it in. You know, I will not put any body filler in it. But I think stuff happens, just gotta, you know. Let's see how this fits. There it is, guys. Once it's bolted down, it'll fit, you know. I am gonna have to make the hole bigger because there is no play. I'm gonna grab the camera real quick. This is the gap I was talking about. There is a gap there on one side like they ain't on the other side. Now the other side did have a little bit of gap in it, but it wasn't this bad. And I knew this gap was going to be there because I paired it up. And I actually put this on before I had the hole drilled, and I could see that there was going to be a gap. Now, and I didn't understand what was happening with it, and I actually took my factory SVO, my factory panels, I actually took them and I compared them, and they seem the same length, but they're not. And at first, see, I had to repair this cell panel. I'll show you on the back side. The cell panel's been in the been in the family for a long time. There's a lot of history on these cell panels, and my dad's owned them for years. My dad's best friend owned them for years. And now I have them, so I'm actually be the first one to actually put them to use. Now, when I was a kid, when I was little, my dad had these SVO panels, and he had them sitting around in the garage, and I went out there about, I was probably 4 or 5 years old, peeling around, and I stepped on this one cell panel right here when I was little, and it's been cracked ever since. But I did repair it. And I've done a good job on it. And I thought that was what made it shorter. But all it was really was a crack. And I just I thought about it a long time, and there's just no way that's what made it shorter. And then actually I've done some research and come to find out the E4s, one of them is shorter on one side than the other. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. Now, once again, you will have to go back and make one of these holes a little bit longer so you can slide it up and have play in it. You can slide it up a little bit. And see, I just slid it up right there, and There's still a little gap right there, but it's not nowhere near as noticeable. And there's not a noticeable gap on the bottom either. But that's all I got, and I told you I was gonna do a video on the panel, so here it is.